My name is Bruce Bartolomeo. This is my 5th year with Run for the Wall on the Central Route. I served 6 years in the 70s in the Air Force. I'm a vet, but not a Vietnam vet, just missed it by a little bit. This 2019 was the 31st year of Run for the Wall, and it was started by a group of guys, primarily one who was a Vietnam vet, and he had buddies that were still MIA. You know, that was the war. It was anything but a welcome home, which ironically, and well, intentionally, that's the greeting now with Run for the Wall. When it's not hello, it's welcome home. We start here in Ontario, California, and there's 3 routes that go across the country, and everybody converges 10 days later in Washington, D.C. on the Friday before Memorial Weekend. We'll end up in D.C. with roughly about 2,000 participants. There is definitely a sense of freedom on a motorcycle. It was founded by guys that fought for freedom and that happened to be motorcycle riders. I don't think it had the same impact, you know, driving a Winnebago. You know, 400 Winnebagos going across the country. There's just something about motorcycles. One of the things that's afforded Run for the Wall on the Saturday morning that we arrive in D.C., 400 of the first-time riders are escorted into Arlington National Cemetery. Every time, it hasn't been raining when we've ridden in, but it often rains inside my helmet when I ride in there.
I've been here a few times with this group with Run for the Wall. Every time it just cuts a little deeper. Not a bad cut, but it's hard to ignore a cut. And a cut is a pretty small price to pay for the freedom we have.
That's one of the things that I think is most impactful for me. When we ride into small towns like in Kansas, you're greeted in there's rows of flags and people cheering.
Look at that! Look at all this.
It's like, wait a minute, your guys are the heroes here. You're the ones that really deserve the accolades. And they feed us all, and they feed us really well too. Words can't explain the feelings that you get along the way. You're cruising down I-70 through farmland, and here's this one small little overpass. I'm not talking in near a city or anything, the little overpass, and it's pouring rain, and there's one lone soldier standing there like this as you pass underneath him, because he knows you're coming through. He's probably an old Vietnam vet. That has as much impact on me as when you go and then there's 50 people across the whole overpass.
There's all the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
It is a 501c3, it is a nonprofit. They have a board of directors. And I'm kind of one of the younger guys on the ride, okay? There's a lot of guys into their mid and even late 70s riding these rides, and riding that tight and riding, it's pretty amazing. And they're great riders. They're really great riders. It's a machine, and it's all volunteer.
Left lane is closed. We are going to 4-5, 45.
All right.
Communication is critical in any organization, and particularly if you're moving this many people down the interstate. My platoon the last couple of years, we've had the Sena headset units. We could communicate back and forth. It added such an incredible safety element, and plus made it much more pleasurable. We banter a little bit, you know, okay, maybe a lot. But it was fantastic having the units.
We've got a few hundred bikes need fuel, and our fuel team will take care of this in probably 20-25 minutes.
The last couple of years, we've had an outreach team that goes and they know where there are Gold Star families. A Gold Star family is a family that has lost someone in combat. Personally, I've had young men in my home that were killed in the battlefield. And I rode in a missing man position my very first year on Run for the Wall, honoring that young man. And I think the closer you get to those realities, the more appreciation you have for that cost of freedom. I would say don't come with any expectation. And I tell folks that all the time. You don't have to be a motorcycle rider, but you will be absolutely changed. As long as I can get on my motorcycle and ride it, I plan on doing this every year.